Hi, welcome to the demo booth on how we go about harnessing the power of multi-cloud. Like many customers that we talk to, somehow or rather, they will start to look into implementing services on the public cloud. Right? With the promise of having better cost, faster deployment, and also to leverage on some of the newer innovations by the public cloud provider. However, this is not easy. Now, do a Google search. You'll find that there are a lot of security vulnerabilities reported recently, like financial institutions losing their customer records, healthcare agencies losing the patient data. Another area to search will be management. You'll find that managing the public cloud itself is becoming a nightmare. It is harder to control and it's harder to ensure compliance. To move to the cloud, you need a strategy. In Cisco, we strongly believe this is the way to go. We need to look into how to connect, how you consume, how you protect, and how you implement. Let's talk about how to connect. Like many customers that we have, they are going to have workload deployed on some on-prem location and some onto the public cloud. It is important to ensure a consistent endpoint group policies. Things that we care about, which endpoint group can talk to which endpoint group. Cisco HCI Anywhere is an answer to how we connect this workload across the diverse clouds. It's leveraging on simplicity of how HCI implement policies. And now we can pervasively deploy connectivity policies across the different clouds that I deploy. I will hand over to Nati to talk about how to consume and how to protect.
Hi, let me continue on the consume, protect, monitoring, and our service. So let me start first with the consume. This is a Cloud Center Suite platform. It is a software from the Cisco that we provide you the easiest way to consume for the multi-cloud. So you can give and have the control of every cloud in the single dashboard. We have the concept of the application profile that you can have the ability to model only once and deploy to any cloud with ease. After you consume, let's talk more about how to manage what you already have. So you can have the protection and the visibility monitoring. Something like you can have your application performance visibility to monitor your end user experience on the mobiles, how it's like of the experience. So you can give the ability to the successful of the adoption of your application. Then the second thing is about the monitoring and the protect. So you can protect by the security within the multi-cloud. By using the Cisco Threat Station, we can have the sensors inside all of your workload and do the analytics for you. So you can see all the flow, every package, and every workload in any cloud. And the last one, that we can give you the protect. We can also protect your wallet. It means your cloud of the bill, it will be protect your cost of the cloud consumption. So at last, I would like to talk about the implementation. We have the Cisco Advisory Service to provide you the implementation and share the global expertise and experience for you to adoption of the multi-cloud software for the Cisco to drive you for the success of the multi-cloud. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eric Ray. I'd like to introduce you to StealthWatch, which is our network traffic analysis tool. StealthWatch is basically behavioral. We look at people's or users' behavior in the network and deduce whether we see things like exploitation alert, data hoarding, exfiltration, things like that. We're also able to characterize alarms by the top alarming host and give more details about the types as well. Other interesting things that we can do is with our new encrypted traffic analysis is actually analyze what we call users' information, even if it's encrypted, without using the private key. This is quite a key and unique feature that we can have. And I can show you a bit more detail on this. If I click on a specific user here, we'll get an individual report of what that user is doing. But what you'll see, there's no specific alarms at the moment. Because this is encrypted, we need to actually spin off and look at the information that we get from cognitive intelligence. If I can pan down to the bottom here, You can see on cognitive intelligence, I can see the actual timeline of this output, this attack. We see on the 19th of March, there's category 4, we see other investigations happening, we see this user doing some tour relay events, and then eventually a malicious warning that we get here. So again, just emphasizing this is using our ETA metrics with NetFlow, and Stealthwatch is collecting that and sending the IP metadata into cognitive intelligence to be processed by multi-layered machine learning. If we want to see more detail about this, we can actually spin off into the cognitive intelligence dashboard where we see a breakdown of this attack. So again, emphasizing that we're analyzing the URL here. And interestingly enough, it's the HTTPS URL. And as you can see here now, we're coming into the cognitive intelligence dashboard and we see the malicious host. We see the domain name, which is obviously not a user domain name. No one would ever sit there and type this in, followed by an IP address and the autonomous system owner. We've already associated with that with our back-end systems that this is associated with a malware site, and we can remediate that particular user. We can actually see in this case that it's actually a confirmed attack of WannaCry. If I actually click on the WannaCry, we get more information from Cognitive Intelligence, which tells us actually the breakdown of that attack at very high detail, how many users were affected in my organization, how many users in other companies across the globe. And if we want to, we can have a look at more global threats. We can see the sources of information that we get here from Global Threat Grid. We can see any common files that might be associated from our other security products. So what I'm showing you here is that Stealthwatch is not just working by itself. It's working with cognitive intelligence. It's working with AMP Threat Grid. It's looking with all our other products to basically feed that multi-layer machine learning classifiers. If we have a look to the right, you can see it's not just WannaCry that we're detecting. We're detecting lots of other threats like Gamaroo here and things like that. So we can do that intelligence. So it's using the global threat. For a more strategic view of your threat response, I'll hand you over to my colleague Lewis, who'll talk to you about Cisco threat response. Thank you.
Hi. So one of the things that you want to address is when there's a face with a security threat, how do you want to go about investigating, right? And you hear stories that organizations are faced with breaches and compromise despite the fact they invest a lot in security infrastructures, right? So one of the things that we want to help you as a defender, as an investigation, as part of incident response, is really give you a platform where you can actually do things efficiently. Right? This is where we have the Cisco threat response. Over here, we give you a picture of how things begin, not just only when it happened, right? We want to give you a context, to give you the understanding of how does it lead to that problem that you see, right? And over here you can see that these are the intelligence sources that we actually pull out from and assimilate into Cisco threat response. Today we actually support our various technologies such as DNS security from Umbrella. We also have assimilated threat intel from Endpoint, sandboxing threat grid. Soon to come, very soon, we have integrate with email as well as our next-gen firewall and also Stealthwatch, which is our network analytics. Right? But what we want to give at the end of the day is to correlate all this threat intel into a single platform and give you very simply a picture to say, okay, now I have a threat. What do I do with it? How do I investigate this? How do I go about understanding is this a real issue that I should be concerned with? Or is something that I can just put it onto a case note because it's already been addressed by my security technologies. So over here you can see that, hey, there is actually an infection that's affecting one of my endpoints, right? And what I want to do is that I want to know what are the parameters that contribute this infection. And you can see that all roads seems to be pointing to this IP address. And what we do is that if you want to investigate further, simply click here and we can pivot onto any of the technologies that we support today. Right? So if you want to know more information about this IP address, for example, you say, okay, let's find out what this IP is all about. Is this something that I need to be concerned with? And what you'll do is that once you click on a particular observable, a parameter, and they will actually tell you more information. For example, okay, this IP address has been known to be distributing bad payloads. Why? You can see over here that the threat score of this payload seen is high. Right? So this is something that we do from CTR, empowering the defenders to give you better way to actually efficiently address the security threat faced by your company. Thank you.
Hi,
Hi, my name is Chiseng. So I'm gonna actually demo the 9800 series controller, the new controller that we got. They have all the legacy good stuff that they actually have on a controller point of view for radio, right? The cool thing that we actually have on this is that the ability for it to actually be programmable and also more secure. And on top of that, we actually probably show you the steps for us to actually take a look at basic configuration of wireless. So it's very easy step-by-step implementation that we have in wireless. Now, if you imagine that we actually have a controller that we got here, we actually have the ability for us to do DNA assurance, the ability for you to take a look at the configuration and the situation of the client. At this moment, I look at a snapshot, there's about 892 clients that are actually connected, and about 73% of them are good. But we want to concentrate on the one that basically are bad, right? So 27 of them are having problem, and you wanted to know why. And you can see that 1% of it due to radio, the other 1% of it is due to AAA authentication, for example. You can even zoom in to a particular client that are actually having problem, right? So that's the thing that they actually had on this. So then from there, you can actually zoom in all the way down and replay that particular client. You can drag it and use the information that you got, okay? Now, so now you have the infrastructure for you to troubleshoot the network. Now, how do we monetize the network, right? So if you imagine with all this controller that we actually send information to, we have what we call a CMX. CMX is a location engine. So the location engine feed this information up over. It could be your laptop, it could be your client, it could be your sensors, it could be your guests even, right? So with this particular guest information, you can create services. Hence come the DNA spaces. The DNA spaces is an application that they actually combine together in the cloud. There's portion that basically you can actually create persona, whereby a device coming in, you can say that this is for a coffee shop, and from the coffee shop, you can actually create a different welcome for different portal, and then you can engage. And then from that, this is one particular use case. The other use case that we have is Operation Insight. Operation Insight allow us to actually take a look at our asset. For example, this is a hospital. In this hospital, we actually have different devices that are actually there. And from certain device, which is a sensor, we can create an action, right? So for example, a device is in this case a radiology wheelchair, and you can actually then, when it's detected, you can actually detect and then send email or SMS or notification to your application. Thank you for your time.
Okay, hi, welcome to Cisco SD-WAN booth. And this is the SD-WAN solution, how it works. Let me see. Here, this is the SD-WAN architecture. We're gonna have edge router, which is this. I have brought it over here as well. So this is the VS router, and it is ISR. Both of the models can support it, SD-WAN as well. So once we have the routers ready, then it goes connect to the controllers. Controller is going to be manage everything, manage the policy, manage the template. This is how it works. So this is how we manage works. It can see all of the branch routers. It can see the health of the WAN, and also we can see the application inside the WAN, right? And most important thing is, mostly people use SD-WAN for going to internet directly. Then we have the URL filtering. Then we can block each categories that we're not supposed to allow the connections go directly from the internet, to the internet directly, right? So we can block something like the adult content, the gambling and gaming as well. Also, we can have the IDS and IPS inside the ISR routers. Then we can make sure that the branch connectivity to the cloud, to the internet, is going to be very, very secure, like this. So this is the signature of that. So again, this is so easy. Then you have only routers, you connect to the internet links, and then you just go to the controllers. That is the overview of the Cisco SD-WAN solution. The next station is going to be about the network automation and assurance. Let's go over here.
Hi, good morning. My name is Yadu. I'm the product sales specialist for enterprise networking. I have with me Jirapat, who is the SE for Thailand. So here we have a demo of automation and assurance. Automation, like we have this new solution of DNA center with automation built in, which helps in automating the policy elements. I'll show a quick demo of how we can roll out a policy in a hospital environment, for example. Okay, here we need to create a policy where doctor has access to EMR servers, right? So previously we had to go through a lot of CLIs, configurations, like specific box configurations and all. But here we just drag and drop the users and other entities. As you can see, we drag the doctor, we drag the EMR server, and we quickly created the policy. And this policy gets rolled out throughout the network, right? No need to touch the individual boxes. That's how we have simplified the automation. And we have assurance solution as well, which kind of simplifies the whole troubleshooting aspects of the network. Just to give an example, let's assume there is a user called Grace who is facing an issue with iPad connectivity. So we don't have to call the user, get the IP, get the MAC, send the IT person there to troubleshoot. All we have to do is search for the user Grace. The complete 360-degree view of the user comes up here, and all the issues are listed already, right? Network already knows the problem, and we can you double click on that? See, we can get into details. It shows the detailed description of the problem, how the problem happened, and even the suggested actions, right? So this way we have completely simplified the policy as well as troubleshooting elements. Thank you.
Hi, welcome to the Unlock the Power of Data booth. The first stop is Cisco Kinetic. Cisco Kinetic is the data fabric for IoT data, so it helps you maximize the value of IoT data. So imagine you have a factory where you have 5 or 10,000 sensors there. What Kinetic can help is, first, we can filter or compute the data at the edge next from your machine so that we can only filter the relevant information sent to the data center. Right? Secondly, when it comes to the data center, we have the IoT database where it keeps the data in time series with the MPP architecture. With that, we can normalize the data from different brand, different vendor, or different machine. Right? And if you want to see how the things looks like, we have the visualize tools that enable you to see the real-time or historical data of your IoT database. And last but not least, from the same data platform, you can connect to any AI cloud so that you can use your AI or ML to analyze and maximize the value of your data from that. Right. Then you can go to the next one.
Hello, I'm going to talk about the Cisco Jasper Control Center. So in the IoT landscape, we have the enterprises that own the IoT devices, and they need the device to talk to the backend system. It could be some point of sale device or connected car, but anyway, they need to talk to the other endpoint of the IoT infrastructure. So in between, they need the network service provider to provide the connectivity. And Control Center is the platform closely integrated with the network service provider to provide the connectivity management and help the enterprise to control the cost, enhance customer experience, and also have a multi-layer security control. So I'm going to show you when the enterprise subscribe to Control Center service and a service provider connectivity, they will have a login account to Control Center with a function about the device monitoring. They can also see the billing and invoice information, define some logic to control with automation, some logic to control their life cycle of device, and also security, etc. And security about the multi-layer security control and device control, etc. So I'm just going to show you the device view. So when you click into device view, you will see all the deployment of this enterprise, seeing all the SIM information and the usage data, whether this in which part of the device lifecycle, whether in session or not in session. And the enterprise can also do some basic diagnostic like clicking one button to run some network-based testing. So it's helping the service provider not need to use, the enterprise no need to call the service provider, but do some troubleshooting by themselves. And this is about the device troubleshooting, and I think let's move on to another booth.
Good afternoon. Today we are going to cover about Cisco Incident Response Services. Cisco Incident Response Services gives you expertise to help you recover from cybersecurity incidents. It is powered by Talos, the world's leading cybersecurity research from Cisco, where they actually look at big data around the world. This big data is powered by telemetry data that we actually see from other customers and sensors we actually put worldwide. In this way, it helps us to look at threats so that we can actually protect our customers. And next, with the script, this script has to be executed by people. In this case, you have to actually drill these people in order to know what to do during a cybersecurity incident. At the same time, you want to know whether the adversary is in your network. You also look at threat hunting service to actually look for signs of security breaches in your network as well. Finally, there is the emergency incident response team. If you need expertise to come down on site to your network to actually look at how to quickly contain the attack, recover from the attack, and also investigate the attack itself. With that, let's move on to the collaboration space.
Hi. This is to create meaningful experience the architecture. What we have today here in the Cisco Connect, we have hollow space and we also have the co-creation spaces, and also we have the cognitive collaboration. Let me talk about the cognitive collaboration first. Cognitive collaboration is an intelligence and context built into one single system. Before we go down the detail, let me introduce my colleague Wilson, and he will talk about some more detail how we can demonstrate here in this booth.
Hi, Wilson. Hey, Ryan. Hi, everyone. So Ryan talked about cognitive collaboration. So what is that is really how we bring intelligence and context into meetings. So the first thing we have here to show you is a virtual assistant. This virtual assistant allows you to use a wake command to wake the system and do some actions for you. For example, join the meeting, record the meeting. So let me start by using the wake word to show you how it looks like. Hey WebEx, call Ryan Kim.
Ryan Kim, right?
Yes.
Sure thing, calling Ryan Kim.
Okay, WebEx, end call. In fact, there are a lot of Ryan Kim in our organization.
I'm not able to help you do that on this device.
In fact, there are a lot of Ryan Kim in the organization, but because of the intelligence, the system is able to realize that Ryan Kim is the one that I always contact frequently, so you will just pop up the right Ryan Kim that I need to call.
Wow, that's amazing. Is some intelligence? How does it work?
Yeah, so everything is running on the WebEx platform. Is using the software and hardware together to provide this virtual assistant, to bring this virtual assistant to the device and to everyone. Yep.
I can see some of the names there. What is that?
Oh, okay. So as you can see on this screen, you will see myself, Wilson, Ryan, and also Z on the screen. So this is a facial recognition feature that we have. It's able to recognize those people in the meeting and bring it up. So the remote participants, if they don't remember the name, they can just look at the screen.
That's great too. Yeah. And we have a couple of people in this meeting. Is there any way that we can leverage that and in some based on the AI features?
Yeah, of course. So let me show you this screen over here. With this mode, we are able to see how many people are in the room. And as you can see, there are green boxes around showing who are the participants in this room. And you, over here on the top, you can see the people count, how many people they are detected in the room. So this information can then feed back to the IT of facilities to know how the room are effectively used.
Okay. Looks like we have some of the new device here. What do you call this?
Oh, this is, we call it a Room Kit Mini. It is meant for harder space area. And it is an all-in-one device which has got camera, microphone, speaker, all in one, a built-in unit.
Any advantage over competitive?
Yep, let me show you this. The advantage over some of the video camera on the market is that it has got a 120-degree field of view. So meaning in such a small space area like this, the camera is able to see me even though I'm standing right in front of the camera. Because of 120-degree field of view and using some of the intelligence on the hardware and software, we are able to display the video or the picture naturally. So let me show you another view. We call it the fisheye view. So traditionally, some of the endpoints out there, when they offer 120-degree field of view, so this is exactly what they will see. So at the edge here, you'll see this what we call a fisheye effect.
That's amazing. Thanks very much, Wilson.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much for listening for collaboration demo. Thank you.